4395 800-709 4395 800-709 4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, here we are.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are excited to be here for yet another wonderful Friday. We've got some exciting things going on. One thing I wanted to share with everybody is we are very much proud to be part of Joco Community Radio, a member of EMG, a radio and artist collective, proudly serving communities like Johnson and Kent County. We are, just like always, live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our TuneIn station app. Just check out our lineup and more at tuneinjoco.com. We thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of our communities. You heard the commercials. Be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorneys at law. Use code JOCO24 for 25% off your first order and at thetiffy.com. And join and swipe today. Save on your credit card processing at swipenationusa.com. Locally owned and operated. So if you have any questions, reach out to Tiffany at Joco at jococommunityradio.com for advertising rates as low as $50 a month. Well, we are proud to be a part of Joco Community Radio, the voice of both Johnson and Tarrant County, Texas.
Yeah, we're growing around here.
We are growing. We're honored to be here today. Let's bow our head for a quick word of prayer. Father God, thank you so much for the privilege to be here to serve the job seeker community. We thank you for the great things you have in store for each of them and pray that you'll open up amazing doors of opportunity. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. All right. Well, Foster, I know we probably have some announcements, some landings, and some positions to share. But first, do you have your silly dad joke of the day?
Well, I'm going to lean to you for that. So, guys, a while ago, I was having internet problems, and I didn't think I was going to be with you guys today. But lo and behold, the good Lord fixed it all for me, and here I am boring you guys another Friday. we got Diana Alt with us today and D'Mar Phillips, and that's going to make for a good show. So you guys won't have to put up with my boredom all the time. And hey, Maz, behind the scenes, we love our Maz. I see you on there taking care of things like you always do. Guys, Dana, will you start off with the dad joke? It'll be a moment.
Absolutely. What do you call a pig who knows how to use a butcher knife? A pork chop. Hi-ya!
Oh God. Oh, I hear everybody laughing out there.
Wow.
Hopefully Tiffany's with us and she'll score us on that one. So I want to shout out. We've got Gerard Roble with us out on the the East Coast. He's out in Florida. He's listening in. And Dustin, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Dustin.
Dustin, I like your last name, man. I think I'm going to use that. Yeah. And my main man, 50 grand, Gene Clay. I always want to holler out to Gene. Gene, we got to do our shout outs. You know how we are on the radio, you know.
Oh, yes.
So, let's talk about jobs. Guys, there is a bookkeeper / accountant job. This job will be located over in Dallas. It is not a remote job. It's right over there by the Galleria. So that's pretty cool. You can go to the Galleria for lunch. And if you have expertise in QuickBooks, this is going to be the job for you. It is with a food distribution company, a good friend of ours, Dana. Lisa Sutton's company. Lisa is the COO over there, and she needs to hire this person. And I was really surprised at the amount of money that this position is paying. So this is a really good paying position, guys. So please contact me, Foster Williams, the job father, at foster.williams at sbcglobal.net, or call me. Let's talk about it. 214-728-6930. Again, this is an accountant slash bookkeeper job over for a company in Dallas, a meal preparation company. So when your companies need to, you're going to have a party, you call these people and they'll cater your meal. They'll set up a plan. A lot of the companies that they work with set up a plan, and they provide a meal for their employees every week on certain days, or maybe even multiple times a week. It's a really, really cool company. And so, guys, again, my number. Oh, thanks, Maz. Now I can read my own number. Let's see, what is it? 214-728-6930. You guys call me. We'll talk about it. I am very intimately knowledgeable of this company. So anyway, Dana, you got some jobs going. You want to share with folks?
Yes, I do. We have a couple accounts receivable and billing claims specialists with Beacon Oral Specialists. We are full time in office Monday through Friday, located in Dallas at 635 and 75. Reach out to me if you have any questions. In addition to that, we have a IT project service delivery IT service delivery manager opportunity, full-time Beacon Oral Specialist, hybrid. And then we are, for our different practices throughout the United States, hiring for front office and surgical assistants. So keep an eye on the Beacon website, and don't forget, if you'd like to advertise your roles, our show hits not only target job seeker groups throughout the US, but we're international as well, or global as well. So reach out to Foster Williams if you would be interested in advertising your openings on the show. And don't forget to go to searchforyou.com or .org, Foster's website. It is the primary website he utilizes to run the entire job seeker community. Feel free to donate to the job seeker community to help Foster be able to continue to do what he does, and contacting and networking and introducing candidates and employers nationwide. And Foster also has his own search company. So if you need any support, if you need to be hooked up with a great candidate for affordable rates, please reach out to Foster Williams as well.
Yeah, what she said.
What I said.
That's right.
And I
So
said, ooh.
Oh gosh, she's fired up this morning. We're in trouble. So guys, honestly, I'll go to my LinkedIn, Foster Williams. Find me. I am the job father. You'll see that all over it. And you will see search the number 4, the letter UINC.com. Mez put it in the chat for you companies that need to post jobs. It's a very simple process. We are a community-based company. It didn't cost you guys as much to post jobs to the whole dadgum network, 35 states. That, if you got a remote job, you want to post it on Search for You. Believe me, you do. And it is very, very inexpensive. For a reason, it is that way. Some of you guys are paying crazy amounts of money, and I'm not going to name companies, to post your jobs. It's not necessary. And when you post your jobs on Search for You, probably 65% of the people that are responding to your jobs are already out of the network anyway. We are the largest job seeker network that I know anything about. Okay, enough bragging about myself. Okay, I see my friend, and this is not the first time she's been on the show, and it won't be the last. I love me some Diana Alt. And Diana is a specialist in helping you guys figure things out in the job search. She is a no nonsense, in other words, no BS. Y'all know what BS stands for? When Diana talks to us, you'll understand why I say that. I love me some Diana. And Tiffany Hurd, we want to thank you again for putting us on the show. We got a show. We wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for Tiffany and the EMG group. We are the EMG group now, guys. We're, oh my God, it's growing. This show is very popular, and it should be, and I'm glad it is. And we are looking to spread as much as we can. And so you guys reach out to Tiffany. I will provide her information for you. If you go to the website, her number is right there. But you can call me and I'll tell you how to get in contact with Tiffany. Okay, so hey, Diana.
What's up?
I'm excited because today we're going to talk about that 20% of what you guys do that provides most of the traction in your job search. Uh, 80, 85, maybe in some cases 90%. Let's talk about that, Diana.
I love this topic so much. I've been thinking about it more and more because the longer I coach, the more I realize that people are just overwhelmed by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you are laid off and you don't have, you could do 40 hours a week on your job search, or whether you're juggling the kids and the dog and the soccer practice and the full-time job and all the house and all that stuff, it's just a lot to try to figure out. And what I studied engineering in college, so I studied a lot about quality engineering and how to be efficient with processes and all of that stuff. And what I came up with in job search is that most people are focusing on the wrong, a lot of times focusing on the wrong things, at least at the beginning. So, Foster,
Yes.
when you run across a friend that is going to start a job search, what is the first thing they usually ask you about?
Well, they usually ask me about where they can connect and network. So I provide that for them. But the flippantly, guys, you guys always poster, who's hiring? Are you
Who's
serious?
hiring? And who,
What my resume look?
What's my resume supposed to look like? Okay, so those are the wrong questions at the beginning.
Yeah, they are.
So I've got, actually working on creating a really good economical course that in my head is called Job Search Essentials, but I got to check the trademarks and whatnot to talk about this 80-20 thing. And there's basically 6 different things we need to talk about. 6. The first thing is your mindset. You got to get your head right about this whole thing.
Yeah, you do.
And there's 2 main things that you got to think about. Number 1 is what you want actually matters. So when you start your conversation with what should my resume look like and who's hiring, you're not spending any time thinking about what you actually want for yourself, which is a missed opportunity. Because if you're in a bad job and all you know is what's bad, but you've never thought about what's good, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So, right? And D'Mar, you're on the market, right? But I just stalked you on LinkedIn and you're in people and culture. So have you been asking yourself the what you want question already? Have you been asking
Absolutely.
All right, good. Check mark for D'Mar. Now, the other thing is people are constantly worrying about stuff they can't control. And then when they're worrying about that, they're not thinking about what they actually can control. So you can't control if there are 500 people that applied for the same job as you. You can control whether you waste your time applying for stuff that you're not qualified for. Am I right? Okay. So that's the main thing. So some of the things that people they're trying to control outcomes that are in the hands of other people instead of trying to look at their own activity and think, what can I control? And also just basically giving it to whoever they think is holy once they are done with all the parts that they can control. When you walk out the interview and you have sent the thank you note, there is not much you can do after that point to make the decision for the people. All you can do is hope that the right thing happens for you. If you want to work at the company, you might be thinking, oh, I hope they pick me. But you need to let certain things go so you can focus on the fact that, until I get a job and start it, I still need to be applying for jobs. One of the big things that happens to people is they kind of get stuck or they flounder because they get so excited about one opportunity. All they do is focus on the interviews for that one opportunity. And then if it doesn't work out, they feel like they're starting over.
Yeah.
So control what you can control. Second thing is target. What do you want to do? We talked in the first step about understanding that what you want matters. Well, what is that thing, and how can I think about it in a way that lets me speak later about myself? So this is everything from what kind of company do I want to work for? Small company, big company, public company, family company, 10 employees, 10,000 employees. What kind of role do I want to do? What kind of skills do I want? What kind of relationship I want to have with my boss? Like, everybody has different things that matter to them, but they need to think about what matters. And so the title, the skills, the type of company, and also the problems that you want to solve. So, because really nobody's hiring anybody in their company unless they got a problem to solve. Once you have figured out your targeting, the next thing, you got to learn how to talk about yourself. So this is where a lot of people, I feel like this is really underrated, because what everybody hears is, well, I just need to put the right keywords on my resume so that ATS doesn't kick me out. Setting aside the fact that's not actually how that works in a lot of cases, if you learn how to talk about yourself in a way that aligns with your target on paper, online, and out of your mouth, that makes everything with your job search smoother. And so this step 3 is the point at which your resume starts to matter. Step 3 is the point at which your LinkedIn starts to matter. And getting the words to come out of your mouth, that's your informational interviews and talking to your hairdresser about your job search while you're getting your hair taken care of, and talking to your friend at church or at the gym or whatever, and actually talking in interviews. So talking about yourself effectively. And then the next thing is basically, I guess I have 5 steps, not 6. I have an outline that's really sketchy on this paper. You have to develop a plan of attack. And that plan of attack needs to work for you. Your plan of attack, whenever you work in a super niche industry where there's not very many opportunities, and you know you have to be all remote, might look very different from somebody that is more open. They have a more transferable skill set. Maybe they have a larger network, etc. So you have to figure out, what is my plan for, number 1, building relationships, and
Ah.
2, prospecting. Now, I do think building relationships or nurturing existing relationships, you can start that anytime, because sometimes those relationships are what helps you get your mind straight, and what helps you get your targeting right, and what helps you learn how to talk about yourself. But you definitely have to have it and leverage it when you are getting ready to really launch that search. And then for prospecting, you have to decide how you're going to do the thing. So too many people just go type in project manager into Indeed, and then they smash the easy apply button on everything that says project manager, and that's not very effective. So you want to think about, how am I going to find jobs at my favorite companies that I want to work at? How am I going to leverage job boards like LinkedIn and Indeed? And also, where might I find other opportunities? So that could be through relationships. It could be niche job boards. It could be going to conferences. But build yourself a plan of attack based on how you know that you can be effective, but also challenge yourself a little bit. I have a lot of people that say, well, I suck at networking, so I'm just going to do all my prospecting for, job postings that might work online. And that's a mistake. You need to do at least a little bit, maybe a third of your time, spend on the thing that makes you uncomfortable. And then 2/3 of the time, spend on the thing that you think you got dialed in. And then every couple weeks, evaluate whether you need to switch it up or not. And then the last thing, this is surprisingly a problem sometimes. Do the thing. A lot of people do all this work and then they get stuck on actually applying. They're trying to be perfect. They're trying to make sure that they're 100% candidate for everything. They hear messages that they've got to customize their resume for everything. And so they set something aside until 2 weeks have passed and the posting is closed, and they never even got their chance to apply. So you have to do the thing. You can't just talk about doing the thing. You don't get to say, I've been looking for a job for 6 months, when 24 out of those 26 weeks in 6 months, you didn't actually talk to anybody or you didn't actually apply. So that's the model. So I know that took a little bit to go through, but If you pay attention to all those 5 things and you do them loosely in that order, except for you can do relationships anytime, then you will have a much easier time with your search. So anyway, what questions y'all have? Is that too much for a job seeker to think about?
No, no, no. And I've got a comment. Guys, here's what I observed, and we talked about this yesterday. I want to give a shout out to South Lake Focus Group and a shout out to Frisco Connect, because on the second of the next month, what is the next month, y'all? April 2, we're going to have Elizabeth Lyons is going to be our speaker, and she's going to be coming out. She's going to be talking about how recruiters utilize AI to do their job. So this is really, really going to be good to hear. But what Diana's talking about, guys, I want to add on to. When you guys are out there, here's what I see a lot of job seekers doing. They take the same resume and they're firing it out to all of these companies. And I have some people that will send me a list of 15, 20, even 25 companies. And I'm like, okay, have you applied to jobs at all these companies? Why am I getting all these companies? Foster, who do you know in these companies? Well, I don't know you yet.
Right.
You're asking me to do
Brother.
all this stuff.
This
And
is this
when
is
I
a
get to know them, I tell them, and I'm sorry, Diane, I'm taking up your time. But
no, you're fine.
guys,
Preaching.
I want to get to know you. When we need to talk a little bit, we need to get to know each other a little bit, and we talk about some certain things, and then Foster will determine, okay, do I like this D'Mar Phillips guy good enough to represent him to some of my relationships that I have at some of these companies? And you guys sent me all these jobs. I guarantee you it's not probably about 2 of those jobs that you're a real good fit for. Now, did you apply for those jobs? And did you customize your resume to show the experience that you have in those areas that they're looking for? Now, if I am going to reach out to Diana Alt, who's a friend of mine, and she is hiring for this job, and I'm going to represent you, we're going to have a talk, you guys. Because if my name
Yes.
is going to go with you and I'm going to retain my relationship with Diana, if I keep sending a bunch of people to Diana and they're not a fit for the job, Diana is not going to want to talk to Foster. I don't know what
Yes.
Foster's doing over there. Oh my God, he's lost his mind. We're not
People
going to have that kind of.
Right.
Go, Diana.
So I posted, actually, I think it was this week. I scheduled my LinkedIn content, so I can't remember exactly what day. But I posted a whole LinkedIn post about the difference between a weak referral and a
Mhm.
true advocate. And what you're talking about there is investing that little amount of time. Could be a couple coffee dates. Sometimes it's just, being on the radio show one time, or
Yes.
having a really good conversation in DMs, or meeting at the gym, and you talk about professional things. There's a difference between a weak referral and an advocate. And advocates, there's 2 things they understand. Number 1, they understand about social capital. So
Yep.
they are going to be careful about where they spend their social capital. Because if you go to Foster and Foster goes to his contact at Acme Corporation and advocates for you, and then you kind of are a bad fit, or you're rude to people during the interview or whatever, that doesn't just hurt you, it hurts Foster.
Yes, it does.
It takes him down a peg with those relationships, and then he can't help you the next time. And then the other thing that an advocate does is they actually help you chase what's going on. So a weak referral will be like, ooh, we have a referral bonus at our company. I can tell all these people to list my name whenever they apply. Maybe if they get hired, I will earn some money for that. That's great and all, but an advocate doesn't actually care about the bonus. The advocate cares about building their company or about helping you with their relationships.
Yep.
And they will check back. They'll check back with you in a couple of weeks. Did you get called by HR? Did you have an interview? How did it go? Did you still like it? And that kind of thing. So anyway, that's a very important thing to understand.
That's very important. That's what networking is, guys. When you're utilizing it the right way, I can't tell you how many people, because I'm the Jobfather and I'm branded across the nation, and that's all well and good. But a lot of people say, Foster knows everybody. Get in contact with Foster. I will get these resumes from people that I don't even know who you are. And you're like, Foster, what you got? Or what you mean what I got? And then, or I saw this opportunity at this company, Foster, and you are connected to somebody there of interest, or somebody in HR, the recruiter like Dana or someone like that. And Okay, I can't do anything with that because I don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, I have not talked to you. We need to, at the very least, we need to talk and talk about this job that you've applied for. I will get to know you. I have a discerning spirit. I will be able to tell whether you will be somebody that I would want to endorse, but it will be for the thing that you're applying for, not just everything. So,
Yeah.
guys, you guys that are sending me these resumes, you guys are sending me all these jobs going, Foster, who you know. Let me get close to the screen. Uh-uh. It don't
Nope.
work like that.
Nope. We're not doing that. Yeah, I love that. I love that point so much because it's just the networking version of spray and pray.
Yes.
So this is where people aren't connecting the purpose sometimes behind don't spray and pray and build relationships. They hear I need to network, and then they sent that to you and they sent that to 10 other people that they heard are good connectors,
Right.
don't have any context, and then they've applied for 100 jobs this week, which you can't think about 100 jobs in a single week, effectively.
No.
And so they think you know what I call that, Foster? Busy work masquerading as a job search.
And that's true. That's very accurate.
Yeah. Because they do that to feel busy and it avoids doing the actual hard work. And I sound maybe like a little Debbie Downer, like I'm putting the hammer down on
Nope.
people for this, but if you get whenever I say these are the 20% that lead to the 80% of results in a job search, people are always asking me, well, Diana, why aren't you talking about interviewing skills in that? I talk about it a little bit with talk about yourself, make it come out of your mouth. But why aren't you talking about compensation negotiation? Why aren't you talking about, this, that, and the other? And it's really, it boils down to if you get those 5 steps right, and you actually know what you want to do and you're qualified for it, all the rest of it falls into
It
place.
falls into place. Yeah, it does. I
And
hear it, guys. Hear
yeah,
the music. We are going to go to break. We're going
okay.
to come back with D'Mar Phillips, and we're going to have more
Yes.
fun. So stick with us, Diana. We're going to talk.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
We are back, you guys. And guess what? We're going to talk to D'Mar Phillips. D'Mar Phillips, guys, is on our Job Seeker Spotlight. I'm really excited because I've known D'Mar for a long time. D'Mar is an HR leader, and he knows a whole lot more about HR than I do, and I've held the HR director title. But D'Mar is looking, guys. He is going to be your CHRO. He's going to be your VP of HR number one, number two. He has worked in distribution companies, guys. He has worked in industrial manufacturing type of situations before, but D'Mar's skills exist right way outside of just that. So you companies that are listening, I want y'all to hear D'Mar and hear him talk about what he's looking for and all that stuff. You might want to call D'Mar up and have a little conversation with D'Mar, and hey, it'll come together. I guarantee you. So good morning, D'Mar Phillips. You're the only
Good
D'Mar that
morning.
I know. Only
I
D'Mar that I know. That is cool.
I think
D'Mar,
I'm the only D'Mar that I know as well. So
there you go. That's good. Tell us, D'Mar, about you know more about your job search and who you are and what you've done for all these years in Foster does. Tell us a little bit about what's on your radar.
absolutely. Well, first I want to say thank you to Diana. I
Hmm.
echo and endorse everything that you talked about. And it's kind of apropos being on both sides of the equation,
Mhm.
right? So as a job seeker, and then as someone who interviews folks to get them placed at the right company in the right position, those types of things. You kind of summed it up pretty eloquently with your 5 steps, 6 steps in the process. And so another shout out. Thank you, Gerard Roble. Yeah, I think we mentioned him
Oh,
earlier.
definitely. Yeah, he's
He is a
listening. Yeah.
tireless advocate. And so you and all the hard work that you've done to help job seekers as well. And so the
Yes.
difficult part about this whole process is talking about yourself. So I need to probably listen to Diana a little bit to figure out how to do it. But you're absolutely right. You have to understand this. I think, and if your purpose aligns with the opportunity, I think you're not really working as a career at that point. And the work that you do is for the right reason. So that's really what I am looking for. I've been at world's number one company over 10 years there, learned a lot. Left the company pursuing 2 full-time HR opportunities, and I've been blessed. My resume speaks to different industries that I've been able to. But what I'm looking for are a company that values people. So you'll see on the profile it says Vice President People HR, whatever that is, but it is a people-centered type of HR executive because the things sometimes companies present important. But if you take care of your employees, if you make sure they have the tools and
Right.
assets they need to be successful, then everything else falls into place. And I think sometimes we switch that paradigm and it doesn't work out. And you can see it at some of the most successful companies in the world where failures creep in, where you have to lay off a lot of people. It's because that equation has kind of gotten balanced. And so what I seek to do is make sure that there's a voice and at the table, there's an opinion at the table. There are influences that can exert inside the decision room. Come out with our people and treat it fairly, equitably, and then talk like instead of last dish expense type of item. These individuals are the reason why we are successful. So let's take care of them first. Let's look at our talent. Let's be fair to assess their appraisal, but then make sure that we're doing the things that we need as a business to remain successful.
Guys, I'd like to
Those
apologize.
type of
I think
opportunities.
we're having some technical difficulties. D'Mar, thank you, Brianna Reeves. We are, it's exactly what Brianna said. Might just be my connection. I don't think it is because it's my connection too, Brianna. But D'Mar's cutting out. That is not D'Mar's fault. and we are going to try to rectify that. Keep talking, D'Mar. I'm gonna send your phone number to
Sure.
Tiffany, and I think she's going to be able to straighten this out. So why don't we real quickly? Why don't we continue moving in our discussion that we were having with Diana while D'Mar and Tiffany fix the cutting out problem? This technology, boy, I tell you, you never know what you're going to get with technology. I was having technical problems. I didn't even think I was going to be on the show, and I don't know where Dana went. We are having all kinds of technical issues today. So just a second, D'Mar, and we'll be right back. I'm going to send your phone number to Tiffany, and she's going to give you a call. Okay, let's pick up. Let's pick up. Your voice seems to be coming through. Just your voice
I
always
got
comes
that good
through.
Google Fiber.
You got good Google
I
Fiber.
got the good Google
So
Fiber.
let's continue with that conversation while I do this with D'Mar. And Diana, you and I were talking about stuff that job seekers need to know,
Yeah.
things and mistakes that we see being made. We started the show talking about the 20% of things that job seekers can take a focus on that provides probably more than 80% of the
Yeah. Why don't I
company.
hit, like, just for people that joined, I saw a couple people in the comments that said they couldn't join till halfway through. So I'm just going to quickly say the 5 steps. I did count them. It's 5. And then let's poke at one. I want to get your opinion and some of your impressions on one of them that
Okay,
I think
yeah,
is super important. So the first one is get your mindset about your job search right. Understand what you're in control of and that what you want actually matters. Number 2, get your targeting right. What are you going for? What kind of company? What kind of problems do you want to solve? What kind of role? Number 3, learn how to talk about yourself on paper, online, and out of your mouth. Number 4, make a plan of attack. How are you going to attack your networking? How are you going to attack finding your opportunities? And then 5, do the thing. Don't get scared and feel like you're not qualified enough. Don't get too distracted if you need a job so you can eat and live indoors. Do the thing and track what you do. So, Foster, the one I'm going
yes,
to poke at is actually the control thing, because so many of us are raised to think, oh, I should be in control of my home life. I got to have my ducks together. I can make everything happen, maybe too much by themselves, which is part of the reason why we talk about relationship building. But what are some things that you see people trying to control in their job search that actually can't control?
Well, one thing, I like to really focus on this spray and pray, because what we have seen in a number of job search experts, we all get together and talk about some things. And Rex Soward, I know you're listening to us. You're out, and I want to give you a shout out. You're out in Virginia, and Rex and I talk all the time, and we see a lot of job seekers just getting excited and applying for these jobs that they probably know they're not going to get a call back on. And the guys, we have to realize that when we're applying for jobs, it's not about us. No, but these companies, number one, they don't know that, oh, I don't have a job and my money's running out.
They don't
But
care.
they don't care. And it's not that they're not that they're bad people, but when you think about the dynamic of the search, it makes sense. I mean, they don't know you.
Yeah.
So,
They might find that interesting about you when you're farther along, but when you first apply, they don't know. So, random story.
mhm,
Any of you guys ever watched Survivor? Anybody?
I have.
Okay, right now I'm watching it for the first time since season 1 because my friend is on the show.
Oh,
So
really?
I've watched this show since 1999, whenever the very
Uh-huh.
first season was on. And so then I'm in a couple of Facebook groups where people talk about the Survivor show and what's going on. And one of the things that people are talking about is they don't like how on the show they're not showing the strategy, they're just showing all these sad backstories. And it's only 3 or 4 episodes into this, like, 13 or 14 episode show. Nobody cares enough about these contestants to care about their sob story. They want to see what they're living in camp life and who's going to win the challenge and have to vote people off. They do not care. They might care later, and the same thing happens in your job search. So when you apply, nobody cares. how much money you need to make or that you're going to get evicted next month if you don't pay the rent.
That's
But
right.
if you get to be in the final one or two and they start asking you not just about your great results, but they're interested in you as a person, maybe the fact that you're eager to get back to work because you got laid off in October becomes a thing that they care about. Or maybe they're interested in the fact that you went on Survivor 2 years ago, or you also ran a marathon, or those kinds of things. So you have to remember the right time to talk about that stuff. So
Diana, another thing that I want to bring up for job seekers, if you know who you are going to be, and most of us do know who we're going to be interviewing with, do your due diligence, guys. We're
yes,
just people. Look them up on LinkedIn. You might want to use Crystal Knows as a software that you can use to find out some pretty interesting points about this D'Mar Phillips guy that I'm going to be interviewing with. Because what you want to do, guys, if a company is going to contact you, they've seen something on your resume that they're interested in talking about anyway for that. So what you want to do, if you're going to be interviewing with Diana Alt, then learn something about Diana Alt. Learn something that you can connect with Diana Alt about on the personal side of things. You guys are going to always hear me talking about let's keep the personal thing going in job search, because as long as a person makes a decision whether they're going to hire you or not, yeah, we can get all the tangible stuff together, but let's talk intangibles. Diana is not going to hire you if she doesn't feel like she didn't feel comfortable with it. She didn't feel like you connect somewhere. That's not going to happen. Hey, Blaine Chippendale, it's good to see you. Let's see what Joe Blaine is saying. It's so important that you show that you will provide value in your interview. Aha.
yes,
Ask the question, why should we hire you versus someone else? Make everything about them. It is about them. We're talking
three
about the
things,
company problem. Okay,
three.
go, Diana.
Oh, what I was gonna say is two of my favorite tricks on LinkedIn to help with that personal connection. Number one, put some volunteer activities. If you have under your education, you might put organizations. Like I've had people message me because they noticed my sorority affiliation from
Oh,
college
really?
30 years ago. Kappa Delta, what?
Kappa Delta.
Yeah, I'm a Kappa Delta. And then the other thing to get into the mind of the person that might be interviewing you, I love reading the recommendations that they have given, because the
Ah, okay.
recommendations they've received show how others perceive them, and those are important too. But you hit that tab for recommendations they've given, and you start to see what they value in other people. And so I've used that to tailor
That's a
how
good
I
idea.
approach interviewing with people. And it only takes a couple minutes to figure out, oh, well, Foster is all about, are you building collaborative relationships with your
Yes.
stakeholders? But Joe over here, he's all about, did you get the project done under budget? You're going to be the person, maybe you're the person that can do both of those things, but I'm going to talk relationships with Foster,
Hmm.
and I'm going to talk about how I came in under budget with the other guy.
Let's see if D'Mar is back with us. D'Mar, can you hear me?
I can. Can you guys hear me now?
I think we're still having those issues. I'm hearing all
Oh,
kind of things going on in my ear, in my headset
Yeah.
right now. So let's
there's
keep
music
going,
playing.
Diana.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite tricks. And I also I've been in a LinkedIn mode lately. I'm about to do some major updates on my profile.
Oh,
And so there's a couple things with talking about yourself online that I think are important for you guys to know. Number one, just real quick, if you are feeling like you want to start a stealth job search, you're not out of work, but you want to start looking and you want to update your profile to look amazing according to what you're targeting and what your superpowers are, turn off the updates to your
oh,
profile. There is a setting under, hang on. I got notes. I'm sending an email out to my email list later today with all of this in a little video. But if you will basically turn off the ability for people to see your notifications. It's in your settings under visibility of LinkedIn inactivity. Turn off send notifications while you're making all your changes to your LinkedIn profile.
yeah,
Then your
because they'll send that to everybody, won't it?
yeah, then your boss doesn't know. Another thing I would say is sometimes job seekers, they're shifting. Maybe 5 years ago you came in to your job as a software engineer, but now you're a manager and you want your next job to be a software engineering manager. In your skills section on LinkedIn, the top 2 skills that you have in the list always show. So if you're an engineering manager, you don't necessarily want it to say Python and Java anymore. You want to keep it on your list, but you want to put cross-functional team leadership and project management up at the top so people can see that, or engineering management, something like that that's more relevant to where you're going. That'll make you,
relevant.
yes. So you don't get rid of stuff. You can put 100 skills on LinkedIn. Like, that's plenty of stuff to put all your languages and all your stuff. But make sure that the top 2 are what you're about. And then let's see, what else was I going to tell people? Oh, check what email you have listed on your LinkedIn profile. An astonishing number of people have their work email as their primary email on their LinkedIn. What happens when you lose your job? I've talked to people that lost their LinkedIn because they lost their email, because they lost their job. So you don't want to do that. Put your Gmail on there. Put the same email that you would put on your resume, that kind of thing on there. And then another thing that we haven't heard as much about in the last 12 months, but it is a thing, and I heard more about it a couple of years ago, is that there are people that are basically faking out. They're posting fake jobs, so there's scam jobs out there, and there's also scam candidates. I have heard stories in tech of candidates applying for jobs, getting them, and then basically outsourcing it to a lower cost technical resource in India while they collect the money. It's like they become a little illegal tech staffing agency. One of the tips you can have to help prevent that is to get verified. There's a little badge on your LinkedIn that says get verified with Clear. It takes like 2 minutes. I finally did it earlier this week. I had been staring at it knowing I needed to, but you basically show an ID and you go through this little 2-minute process, and then people know that you are who you say you are whenever you are on LinkedIn. So
I'm glad you brought that up.
Huh?
I'm glad you brought that up. I was wondering what that was.
Yeah,
And what
and
the
there's also, I haven't, I've heard anecdotal data, and like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard reports that you get more profile views if you have your profile validated. If you are verified, you are more likely to get viewed. You might show up in search higher and that kind of thing. So yeah, I was like, I'm all about that, because I do my business mostly off of referrals from people like you or from past clients, things like that. And a lot of it is off LinkedIn, and people need to see me. If they don't know I exist, they can't know that I'm the right coach for them. So
I'm seeing Jason Hopper said I tried and it didn't verify me.
Oh no! Did you try, Jason? What ID did you use? Did you use a passport or a driver's license or what?
Maybe he'll put that in. Maybe he'll put that answer into the chat fast enough.
Maybe you put it in the chat. Mez, your idea of have a phone number on your LinkedIn, that is one you can do. And also, in the little contact area on LinkedIn, you can toggle which things show. So I don't want anybody calling me, because I'm a business owner, and everybody that does SEO, everybody that
oh God, yes,
I get all of these people that I already have services for all this stuff. I don't need all those phone calls. So I don't put it on there. But if a job seeker wants to make it easy for that recruiter to pick up the phone and call him instead of sending a DM that may get lost, great idea. Thanks for that, Maz. Cool. Yeah, but
Can
those
you Foster?
just said on LinkedIn,
I can.
Takes 5 minutes. You could do all of those things in like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, let's try D'Mar again. D'Mar, can you hear me?
I can, and I apologize. It must have been a laptop issue. So my fault.
Yeah, we've got you loud and clear now. And Diana, I really want to thank you for sticking in there because we're going to continue. It's not the last time you guys are going to see Diana Alt on the show. Diana gets me going. She gets my brain going, and I love it. And we are able to talk about a number of those things that we're seeing in job search. And Diana and I and other people, not a whole lot of us, are not timid to tell you guys the things that are not the usual job seeker. This is what we do. And another thing, before I go to D'Mar again, guys, listen, if you do not know Foster and Diana, how in the heck are you going to uh, verify us, or how are you going to endorse
Because
Diana if you don't know Diana? How are you going to write a recommendation for Diana if you don't know Diana? So guys, stop playing the game is what I'm saying. I know a guy that did not get a job because he recommended someone that he did not know. So anyway, we'll leave it at that and go back to D'Mar. D'Mar, can you hear me okay?
I can, I
Good. Let's
can.
start talking about. We're going to have you back on the show, but why don't we talk while we have a few minutes left about your job search and why you are an HR leader?
Absolutely. For me, it's all about
Yes.
people. I think understanding the talent needs that organizations have, making sure that you put people in the right positions to be successful, allowing them the tools and opportunity to even see things that they don't even see about themselves. I think that is
Ah,
what truly drives me. If I were to say that I have a strength, it would be employee engagement and culture. It truly is about understanding dynamics of the organization and the mission, and allowing people's purpose to be married to the organizational purpose, to be able to get the most out of them. And so to me, that is what drives me. I'm a faith, family, friend type of
yes, you
individual,
are.
and it's important for me to have uh, my rooting in my beliefs, that help me to lead organizations where they need to go. And so that's why I do this thing called people. I love it. It's my passion. It's who I am. It's just kind of an extension of me and my family. And so that's a little bit about me. So I apologize again for the technical difficulties here.
That's okay. As long as you're in job search, I want to leave an open spot to have you come on so that you can tell us the stuff that we didn't get to hear because of all this technical difficulties we had today. We apologize for that, job seekers. And I'm gonna tell you guys something about D'Mar. When I first met D'Mar, and Mez will back me up on this one. When you meet D'Mar, you know he's the real deal. You know he's not just telling you something. He
Mhm.
will tell you the truth. You know that he cares about people. He's proven it in anybody that you talk to about D'Mar. Everybody has a what I like to call an intuition. We have a discerning spirit about us because when you talk to Diana Alt, you know you're dealing with you're talking with somebody that's going to tell you the real deal, and Diana's not going to tell you all the popular stuff that's going to go on. Well, you know what? D'Mar leads in the same vein. I have met tons of people that have worked with D'Mar. I've worked with people and talked with people that have worked for D'Mar. Everybody tells the same story. So I think that that's one of that's one of D'Mar's superpowers. Okay, D'Mar, I'm going to shut up talking about you, man.
Hey, it sounded good to
I
me.
say
So
something super fast?
Say something. Say something. Yeah,
One of the people I love says the first rule of leadership is loving people, truly loving them, warts and all.
I agree with that.
Have to. So maybe I'm sure he would not be mad if you stole that as part of your messaging, D'Mar. If that's what
well, and I agree with that, right? And the company that is not for me is the one that is running smooth.
you know.
That's a good point. That's
If
the
there's
same thing if I
That's
were
a
looking for
really.
a
I have
job.
another friend that lives in the Dallas area
I,
that's just like that. So
because you want to go in and you want to add value, and you want to be able to take the person who thinks that they're, I'm just in this job, I have no future, right? I'm just doing it 9 to 5 to take care of my family. And you want to be able to spark something inside of them that transitions from I'm happy to do the day to day to, you know what, I want to grow and excel in this organization. And you do that by speaking to their heart, speaking
Right.
to their opportunity, speaking to the talent that they have, even if it's latent inside of them, to be able to pull those types of things out. And to me, that is what the hidden value of organizations is, that a smooth ran company, there's something wrong with it first, because people are going to disagree.
Yeah, they are.
There's some level of conflict that's happening at some stage, right? There's something that's hidden because no one is happy all the time. And so to be able to pull that out, to build something together so that people feel connected to it, that to me is the beauty of what I do from a people operations standpoint or HR standpoint, right?
I love that.
And to be strategic. Being strategic about the decisions that we make as an organization. There are some people that probably need to get off ramps and decide there's different career opportunities for them. But for the most part, it's about pulling people together, galvanizing the collective talents and strengths of the organization so that everyone lifts as we climb, instead of people, feeling like they're in it for themselves.
Yep.
So D'Mar, Heidi Torres is asking, D'Mar, can I share your LinkedIn? And I can't see what it says
Absolutely.
below that, but good morning, Heidi Torres, guys. You guys need to connect. You talking about HR? Let's talk HR. Heidi Torres' name is HR Heidi. We all, when we are out paying it forward, guys, we tend to pick up these things. All right, music. We will see you guys next Friday. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, D'Mar. And same time, same bat channel.
Thank you.